All right, guys, welcome back to the Clubhouse episode of the podcast. This week we've got a guest. It's Paul Casey, English golfer, who is... I didn't know a great deal about Paul Casey's character.
I thought quite serious.
We were wrong.
We were very wrong with that one.
He is funny, energetic, excitable, funny.
Does he remind you of Peter Finch? I see it and feel it.
A little bit, yeah, but funnier and better looking.
Wow, better at golf.
Better at golf. So this podcast we filmed a couple of weeks ago at West Palm Beach with Paul Casey. It's just, again, this is a bit of an insight to the type of content you're going to see this year on the channels. I felt like he was incredibly relaxed and just got straight into the vibe of it. He also wanted to show us the most disgusting picture. And in fact, after the podcast, he did show us the picture, didn't he? And I wish I'd never seen it.
It was your swing in slow-mo. Honestly, not one for six.
So sit back and enjoy this phenomenal episode.
I've got a quick quiz for you then.
Go for it.
I liked Paul Casey, did you?
I did.
I'll give you him as one of 5. I want to name 4 of the famous Pauls that you quite like.
Oh, God.
I'll give you a clue for one that you should put. A footballer played in Man United.
Oh, I don't like Paul Pogba. Oh, Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes, Paul Daniels.
Paul Daniels.
I'm just making sure I don't pick anyone that's come out and not been a very nice person. Paul
O'Grady. Do you like Paul O'Grady?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I can live with Paul O'Grady.
Away, I think.
Yeah, he has passed away. And Paul Daniels have. Try and pick someone that's not passed away. Paul
Laurie.
We had an incident with Paul Laurie, didn't we?
Oh, wow. This is give someone a turn. We'll keep going. One more Paul. Search famous Pauls.
Famous Pauls.
St. Paul's Cathedral. Paul McCartney. That's a good one. But you can't.
Not sold on him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, not sold.
Wow, this is getting quite dark.
Oh, Logan Paul. Aaron Paul. I've actually met him.
That's a surname.
No. Oh yeah. Jeez,
you could have had the Paul Pogba was a random one.
I don't like Paul Pogba.
Are there any Pauls that you do like? Let's narrow it down.
Oh, you know what I've done? I've searched famous Pauls, plural.
Famous Paul.
It's a terrible game.
It would have been Paul Chuckle. Is it Barry and Paul, the Chuckle brothers? Is that?
I'm out.
Right, okay, well, there we go. So if anyone's in the car driving, have a little think of your favourite Pauls and let us know either on Instagram or email us podcast. It's paul@rickshiels.com.
And if you're a Paul listening, you're my favourite Paul.
I bet there's some Pauls listening now.
I'll tell you who I do like. Paul Hollywood.
Paul Hollywood the Bake Off.
Yeah. Scholesy, Paul Scholes,
yeah.
Paul Daniels, Paul O'Grady, Paul Hollywood.
We're still in one more.
And let me give you one more. God, it's quite a short list of Pauls, to be honest with you.
Paul Kinnear played in the Open from not far from me. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do.
He'd been the one at the Old Course, 2017, I think.
I feel like we're really missing someone. I'll say Paul McGinley.
Paul McGinley. Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, everyone. Enjoy the episode with Paul Casey. Well, Paul Casey, thank you for coming on the podcast.
Rich Shiels. Thanks for the invite.
It's a pleasure. You're in a giddy mood today, I can tell. Or is this you all
Beginning
the time?
of the year. I have my moments. People who know me, I can be accused of being grumpy on occasions, but I'm not deep down.
Give me what's the 3 personalities we're going to expect to see from Paul Casey?
No, you'll get. I don't know. I don't want to predict.
I like this one. This Paul Casey is giddy and excited. Is this new year, new vibes?
It's getting older. I think that's what it is.
What were you like at school? Were you a giddy kid?
No, I'm quite. I think. Well, Mum told me that I was quite outgoing, and I talked to everybody. I talked to the postman, milkman, whatever. And just like, hey. And then something changed. I don't know what it was, and it's weird because I find now being around a lot of people, it's quite sort of, I don't know, it's almost it's overwhelming to a certain degree, and I kind of go sort of into my shell quite a lot. So
I suppose that's the difference between introvert and extrovert. Introverts more go into the show when there's obviously a lot of voices around, and extroverts just love that kind of. I would class probably Bryson as being quite the extrovert.
Yeah, I think he is. I mean, I'm one of those. We go into a room and it's a pram or something like that, a bunch of people. I'm the one. I'll stand in the corner. I'm not always that outgoing. I find it a little bit intimidating and sort of scary and all the rest of it. So
is that crazy? Because how long have you been playing professional golf for?
25 years or something. This has been my 25th year.
Wow, is it really?
Congrats.
Yeah.
So you turned pro in year 2000?
Year 2000. I played college golf at Arizona State, and then turned pro. Loved my time there, but very quick. I turned pro kind of the end of 2000, and missed the cutoff for tour school because I didn't know. You didn't know any of these things back then. And like, oh, now what do I do? So it wasn't until 2001 that I had my first kind of season, which ended up being European Tour, won the European Tour, that kind of stuff, and then off from there. But yeah, 25 years. So
what genuinely what drives you now?
Oh, we're straight in now, aren't we?
What drives you? What gets Paul Casey revved up for this next season?
Partly what we're talking about, the fact I've done it this long. I have not lost the. Well, okay. There's times when it ebbs and flows, doesn't it? Sort of desire, passion, you know, the determination, and
certainly in golf,
and the energy just to keep to keep pushing as hard as you need to keep going. Because if you're going to stay at the top, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So for me, it's the fact that I get called veteran now, which is quite funny. I'm 47, and when I had a call from Bryson a couple of years ago, and Liv was starting, it's like. He's like, I'm going to be a captain. Do you want to be on my team? I'm like, yeah, like, because, you know, the Bryson we see now, a lot of people maybe weren't aware of the Bryson we see now, of who he is and what he is and the heart that he's got, and he's just a big kid. So to answer your question, it's like being part of Bryson's team and being around somebody like that. I mean, I was a bit pissed off last year I didn't beat him overall. Like, I know won US Open and all that, but looking at the Liv season, I finished 11th or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, had some moments, didn't play my best golf, but I walked away going, frustrated I didn't beat him, because I don't know where he finished, 8th or 9th or something like that, or wherever he was.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that gets my goat. So that keeps me going.
I mean, that's the goal for this year now. 2025, want to beat Bryson again.
I mean, I never, it's funny because I don't publicize my goals, but yeah, I mean, I'll tell you right now, I want to finish above Bryson in the rankings by the end of 2025.
And as much as you don't publicize them, do you write? What's your process of goal setting?
Yeah, you got to write them down.
So have you written them down already?
No.
What's that process look like for you? You obviously don't have to share them with us, but what's the
pretty simple outcome, and then it's going to be process, and then the practice behind that.
Do you practice more now, or is it almost smarter because you've been there and done it?
It's less, but it's smarter. So I've 2 kids at home running around. I've got to be much more efficient, much more selective. Time in the simulator, things like that. Getting up early in the mornings, bike rides at 5:30 in the morning and stuff like that. Some evil stuff.
That's how you do.
But it's back to but I deep down I think, to I guess to answer it even more, it's like I enjoy the work. I enjoy the process. Yeah. Because you don't get a lot of the outcomes. You don't always tick those boxes. You know, whoever's goals are they? You know, win majors, win these tournaments, be this and this position in whatever ranking or whatever list you want to be. You don't always tick those boxes. It's even difficult to, maybe it's like half a putt less per round. Yeah. Or whatever.
Because they're controllables.
Yeah, but you don't always tick those off. So you've got to how do you fulfill yourself? How do you keep going? Yeah. Sometimes it's just do you know what I can control? Is I can control putting in 10 hours a week on my putting, which by the way is a lot, and I don't.
I was going to say,
I try.
I see you back in at 47. Jeez.
But it might be, okay, I'm just going to do, let's make it really simple. 4 days a week, I'm going to make, I'm going to do my sort of, 100 4-foot putts or something like that, round a clock face. Nice little drill or something like this. Can I do that 4 days a week? Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's achievable.
So it's ticking those boxes.
Can you get up at 5:30 and jump on the bike? Yeah, I can, if I want to.
Yeah.
I suppose you got to burn off that Chick-fil-A we've just been talking about.
I do.
It feels like, from the outside, again, we've joined the Liv family now, so really excited for this year, and really kind of seeing every event and seeing how all the players and the teams work together. You guys do properly seem like a team, though. Like you guys do out of all the teams.
Oh, you're talking about crushers?
Crushers.
Yeah.
Feels like you've crushed it in that capacity.
You don't have to drop all the puns.
But it does, though. It does, though, doesn't it? And how is that? What's the driver behind that? Is that it's very clear you've all got your strengths in the team?
We do. I don't know what it is. It's an unmeasurable. Excuse me. It's I don't know. There's a glue that holds it all together. Whether it's a bit of everybody. You know, Bryson's Bryson. Okay. We always joke. You've got Barn, Chucky Three Sticks, and myself. So you've got 3 married guys with kids, and then you've got Bryson. And we always joke, like I say to people, I just told you I've got 2 kids. So I've got 3, you know. and the one I'm most proud of is Bryson, because he's really coming along. You know,
he's doing well.
He's doing all right. I think the dynamic is quite interesting with the 3 guys with an awful lot of experience, and then you basically got, let's be honest, you got a superstar.
Yeah.
And so he runs around at a million miles an hour doing everything. You can see it on social media.
Huge YouTube golfer.
You know, he wants to be Mr. Beast, doesn't he?
That's good.
That was great. By the way, Beast Games is awesome. This is being recorded while Beast Games is going on.
Well, I've actually not seen the Beast Games.
I've started watching it on Amazon.
It's awesome.
Prime, yeah.
Anyway, I digress. And he doesn't over-captain as well. It's a little bit of fly by the seat of your pants, and it all seems to work. And I think if you might have different guys on the team who need more structure and need more captaining and need more emails and messages going around on WhatsApp, whatever it is. He doesn't necessarily do that. He'll just send you something stupid that he did on the range, and it just seems to work. And he leaves us to it.
Good.
You know, it's okay. We won in Hong Kong last year as a team, and we stood on the podium all in different tops. We had our classic sort of navy underneath, but some rain came in and the wind picked up and it got really cold. And the 4 of us are standing there. We got 4 different color tops on, and I'm like, should we not go change? I can go find this. And he's like, who cares? And I love that. It's that ability, as much of a control freak as he is in his life with his golf, and we've seen it. Yeah. Okay, we see it on the golf course. The guy is, he's fanatical about details. Like he gives us talks on, he'll pick out a golf ball and he'll go, Paul, you need to, or Rick, you need to line it up so the dimples are on the north-south. It's wild, isn't it? And so when you strike, the putter hits the golf ball, you're hitting the north-south, because if you hit the east-west, the ball will go off in direction. I'm like, just go away. Don't talk
25
to me.
years.
Don't talk to me. And yet he's able to let go of the fact we got 4 different color shirts on the thing. And I love that.
Do you, because obviously you played college golf, do you have that love for that team as well? Is that kind of something you really enjoy?
It's something I've experienced, and it's interesting. You'll hear other players from around the world on different tours, and they'll mention like Ryder Cup. God, it's so good. Hey, Ryder Cup, and you're in that team, and everybody's together in your common cause. You know, it's funny, you hear it. So yeah, if anybody's ever experienced it, or you've experienced it in playing 5-a-side football or whatever it is, your local rounders team or something like that. Yeah, there's something about that. So college golf, yeah. I did 4 years at Arizona State. We were a good team. We played good golf. And so this was just like it's unfair, but like a grown-up version of that, older version of that, you know.
You mentioned before about goal setting and actually ticking off the things that you can control. And this is uncontrollable in your hands at the moment. But if the opportunity arrives, would you grab it? Ryder Cup captaincy.
Ooh.
Now, I know that's out of your control.
Nobody's ever asked me that publicly. I don't know. And the reason I don't know, I love the Ryder Cup. Paris 2018 for me was just the most amazing thing. And I always get emotional, you know, thinking about it and, you know, even watching it. But one of the most awful things in golf is, or I guess in any sport, is not having the control. So I stand there and you're watching your teammates, and I remember watching Frankie Molinari coming down the stretch, and you're like, he's make it. And then, or Alex Noren coming in, and he's made that big bomb, that putt on the last to actually beat Bryson. And when you're it's not in your control. I guess it's a little bit like having kids, isn't it? Because you just prep them and then off you go.
Watching your kids play
I don't like it.
It's hard.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm confident enough to make decisions. Don't mind a speech. Can do that. I say I don't like people, but I'm happy to do that.
People.
No, that comes across. No, just shy. But standing up on a stage doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So, Luke, I wasn't there, but all accounts, great captain. I've had some great captains. It's a brave thing.
It is.
I tip my cap to
It's
anybody who
daunting,
does it.
isn't it?
Would I want to do it? I don't know. But I'm not being asked, and I'll worry about that when somebody. Sorry, you're asking me doesn't officially count.
Oh no, it doesn't.
Well, actually, got a surprise for you today.
I think
Oh, you got a dangerous set here, by the way.
I think there was there's that wealth of Ryder Cup heroes, certainly from the European tour, who moved over to live, and we can't have a day where then you're not captains like yourself, Poulter, Stenson.
Look,
Keimer,
I understand it, but I looked at it, and for me, it's all, the landscape's changed. Every golf fan, even non-golf fan, knows that it's changed. But I never had. I looked at other guys. I was looking at Poulter and Westwood and Stenson, and then you look, and then you don't. There's been times, if you look at, I guess, at Tony Jacklin and Bernard Gallagher and these guys, where there's been maybe a slight detachment in the age. There's a gap in the age, and they've been brilliant captains.
Yeah.
I think if you go too old now, you lose that connection.
I get you. Because
I wasn't back then. I don't know what that was like, but I think now you need the connection. Yeah. If I'm being honest, Luke still has the connection.
I get what you
mean. But you start to go, too far down there. Would you pick a guy? I'm just going to not pick a name, but pick a guy in his 50s, let's say, who's going to captain a bunch of 20-year-olds. I'm not sure.
Because those 20-year-olds might not have remembered what a hero that Ryder Cup player was.
Sport moves really quickly.
You've obviously been involved. Were you involved from the very start with Liv?
No, Bedminster. So I was injured. What year was that? 2021?
Well, it's moving into the fourth year, yeah.
22, the first
22.
Year.
I had injuries. I had played players, finished third, Cam won. And then I was out with injuries, back injuries.
Right.
Which came from the toe, did we talk about this earlier?
No.
Where I had surgery on the toe?
No.
It's like on your toe. Back.
Yeah.
What?
You didn't? Oh, okay. So I've not seen anybody. So I've had a lot of injuries. Some self-inflicted, acute ones, snowboarding, the shoulder. I tore my ribs and my intercostals.
I'm never going
stuff.
Snowboarding again.
I've been banned. And then I missed a lot of 2022 with back injuries. So there was like 6 months. I was 6 months out, and that's when Liv kicked off.
Yeah.
And then I was basically sitting there trying to rehab a bad back. And I joined in Bedminster. So I wasn't there for Centurion and all the rest of it. But it came from the toe, which the toe's just been fixed, which we can talk about if you want. If you want to talk about boring surgeries.
That could be the thumbnail, the toenail.
Well, no, actually, so nobody knows, you see, because I don't put it out there.
No.
Obviously there are injuries and people talk about injuries. Lots of players who've had injuries and, I didn't kick the bed like Victor Hovland did the other day. Did you see the x-ray, by the way? The toe was sideways. Like, so I've just had surgery on that back in September. So as soon as we finished in Dallas, like a day or so afterwards, in there, sliced the toe open, and without giving you the exact sort of medical terms, basically bone on bone in the big toe joint, no cartilage, all destroyed, bone fragments, bone spurs, and all the ligaments messed up. So we were in there, shaved all the bone down, and did some ligament work, and that was back in September, and that's why I've only started practicing like the last 2 weeks.
And you're back full, and you feel all right with it?
It feels better than it did before.
Is that left big toe?
Can we see it?
No, we're not.
Joking.
If you want, there's a big scar in it.
So
I'll show you the
right big toe.
Right foot, big toe.
It's quite a rotation.
Those Reeboks look comfy,
quite important. Yes, these are quite comfy, I must admit. Very comfy.
Quite an important
different shoe size, and there's a guy called Tom we'll give Tom a shout out at Reebok. He's been making shoes, so they're helping.
As a right-handed golfer, would you right big toe with the worst toe to hurt?
Horrific.
Yeah.
Horrific. And my swing has really struggled with it the last few years because I just don't like. You're meant to. Well, I've never done it, but you meant to, the guys who swing it beautifully, don't they? Kind of they roll the right foot, pronate the right foot, you know it. And then you come up onto that toe, and I never managed to do that. I'd sort of come up onto the toe straight away and just mash it into the ground. So, so now I've got a toe that doesn't hurt. Now maybe I can actually... Maybe 25 years old.
Superpowers. You've obviously, again, been involved with Liv for, from very, very early. Being in the tournaments and being part of the journey, how do you feel like the general sentiment is now towards Liv Golf? How has it changed?
I'll be honest, I don't spend a lot of time concerning myself with that.
Right.
Is the honest truth. It's head down and play golf.
But even from like a fan base, like, when you're at events, what does it feel like now from a fan base standpoint? Like, what's changed? As in, like, if people from Bedminster, when you first started one of the first events, to now.
Well, Bedminster was nuts from the get go. I mean, it was there, and it was already slightly off the chain. Going, this is
fully embraced it.
Yeah, I mean, people who've come out did. And some people came out because they're like, what's going on here? We've got to check this out. There's from mates who are at the golf course or golf clubs that I'm members of. Yeah, I mean, there was certainly chat at the beginning going, oh, what's this all about? What's going on over there? Not sure I like this. A lot of people sort of sitting around, obviously, having a chat, sort of quiet chats. I'm not sure. I mean, and there is serious issues within certainly the men's professional game. We could talk multiple podcasts on that, couldn't we?
We have.
And you will, I think, for quite a while. But there's less chat about this. I guess there's less little sort of grumblings.
Yeah.
And now it's just sort of, I don't know, it's regular chat, isn't it? It's like, oh, good playing last week, or
and again, because you're now starting to go to venues that you visited before, it starts to become that cadence.
Get that narrative, don't you?
Correct.
Well? Remember, I'm in the bubble.
Yeah.
So
that's what I was kind of asking.
It just doesn't change. It just, for me, it's been, and most of the guys, you could spend your life reading stuff about whatever industry you're in. You could, let's go on some social media and start reading this. Let's be honest. The easiest way to, as an athlete, I'll generalize now, as an athlete, to, your self-belief has to be there. If you're, let's pick a sport, it doesn't have to be golf. It could be basketball or something like that. Trying to make a little free throw or something. The way to quickly lose your form and never hit, the net would be read 10,000 comments on, you're no good at shooting free throws.
Correct.
Is that something, though, in your 25 years you've got better understanding? I know obviously the internet wasn't as big in 2001, but have you always had that mindset, or have you, did you read the papers back in the early 2000s about yourself? Or
Yeah, I mean, look, it's hard not to read stuff, but it's pretty simple. My priorities in life are my family and my golf. It's pretty much it. Try to keep it as simple as that.
I like that.
It's, do everything to protect my kids and look after my kids and my wife and have a happy home. And hopefully they got to school today. I've got no idea I wasn't home, but hopefully that happened. That's, as long as that's taken care of, and then I worry about the golf. And if you're look, this game is so complicated. It's so amazing. It's so damn difficult that you never have enough time to work on everything.
No.
So how have you got time to be, honestly, well, I know why he doesn't have kids, but how Bryson has the time to be doing half the stuff he's doing. I mean, I couldn't do that.
The guy's got too much energy.
So in short, I don't have time to kind of concern myself with reading a whole.
I think with that mindset and that new fresh toe, I think you're going to be dangerous this
year. Yeah. Because the thing is, look, I love the game of golf. I love it. I mean, it's amazing. And what I do is just, playing professional golf. And the sort of, whatever, the criticisms and the sort of, there's a lot of toxicity, isn't there? Actually surrounding all sport nowadays. No, I don't have time for it. I love the game, and I'd rather just go play with my mates and go down Burr Hill or wherever, smash it around and have a couple of pints afterwards. Much more fun.
Well, long live golf.
Yeah. Long live golf.
Paul, thanks for being on the podcast.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you very
Good luck
much.
into 2025. I'm excited to see all the different characters that we're going to see from Paul Casey. I like this one.
Giddy Paul Casey.
This is Giddy
You're
Paul
going to see me
Casey.
a lot, aren't you?
I'm gonna see
you're
you
going
a
to track
lot.
it. Is there going to be like a mood tracker?
Casey,
It's a little bit like Tyrrell, to be honest, to a certain degree.
I'm excited to see all sides. Paul, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Go and smash it up, and good luck to Team Crush.
No smashing. That's the wrong team.
Yeah, smash up the smashers.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you all soon.